Well, hello, DCO Nation. Welcome to Deadcom Outdoors Radio. This is the show where the tide set the tone and the bite tells the story. We're diving into everything saltwater inshore kayak fishing, from lures and locations to weather, water, and winning tactics. If it helps you hook up on more fish, we're talking about it right here. So grab your paddle, check your drag, and here we go. Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome to Deadcom Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. Guys, my name is Chris, and you have found a channel that talks nothing about saltwater inshore kayak fishing, and that is what we're going to do this week, and it's going to be a little bit of a different format. But before we jump into it, I'd like to invite everybody to follow me on the social medias. Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. I am in the process of editing video, and it seems like these days it's taken me longer and longer and longer and longer to edit these videos. I don't know why. I kind of get into it, then I drop away, then I come back into it again. But anyway, guys, there's going to be new episodes dropping. I got a couple more fishing trips I need to get out. So just go over, search Deadcom Outdoors, and you can follow me. I will follow you. And again, that is how social media works. So, guys, that is the intro. Let's jump into this. The topic today, there is no topic. I have two guys on here that you guys know, Heath, Watford, Bryan, Lingle of the YouTube channel Small Craft Angler. You guys know them. They have been on the show before. And I reached out to them, a couple of weeks ago, and I said, hey, let's just talk kayak fishing. Let's just BS and just, talk stories, because I have never done that. It seems like week in and week out, it's technique and where to go and all that kind of stuff. But I want to hear stories that you guys are bringing out on the water. You guys are on the water day in, day out. So that's kind of what I want to be. So Heath, I'll start with you. How have you been? How are you doing?
I'm good. Few things here and there you and I talked about a few months ago with me, but all is good. I've had a chance to get back on the water some. I rebuilt the pedal drive in the kayak, and it feels like a brand new one again. So the heat's been brutal on the water, but it's been fun. Business as usual.
Yep, absolutely. Bryan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you, sir?
Yeah, man, doing great. You've been out on the water quite a bit, haven't you?
I have quite a bit. Not as much as I'd like to with the kids and soccer, and we're getting ready to go back to school. So now I'm going to put the pedal to the metal and hopefully get out there even more. But yeah, I've been out there. It's been a little hot, so I've been keeping it short. Trying to get off the water by 9:30 or 10 usually. But yeah, I've been out there.
Yeah, a little hot. I would like to know what your real hot is, because I want to say, even today, it was like, what, 94, 95, heat index of like 112. I mean, just oppressive,
Yes.
man. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Hottest day of the year today, they said.
Oh, was it really?
In Myrtle Beach, yep. So
wow. Yep. Yeah.
I walked out the office this afternoon one time to walk out to do something, and it was just like, it just took my breath away walking out. It was so hot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get this kicked off. So, Bryan, what is your favorite species to target? What do you like to go out, and if you're going to target a fish, what do you like to target?
If I'm just picking one around here inshore, redfish for sure.
Redfish. Why?
The tug is the drug, right? I mean, they're pound for pound. You just never know. What you're going to get. Is it going to be something that's 15 inches and not a big deal, or are you pulling, reeling in a 30 incher that might take you 10 minutes to get back to the kayak, and also take you on the old kayak sleigh ride, as I like to call it. But yeah, I mean, I like them all, but that who doesn't want to catch the redfish, right?
Right. Exactly. What about you, Heath? What do you like to target when you go out?
You got to echo Bryan there. I mean, I love the spring flounder fishing. I love catching flounder, but my favorite is I love to be in the shallow waters in the fall, sight fishing reds.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like seeing that tail and red, belly crawling in 10, 12 inches of water and throw it on it and watching it eat, and the fight is on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely love it. Yeah, I think I gotta agree with you guys too, man. It's redfish, and if you're an inshore angler, like you said, hey, flounder fishing, when you feel that thump and the next thing you know, he's holding at the bottom, you're trying to drag up this big piece of carpet, that doesn't, the fight's on. But a redfish is totally different. When he hits it, he's rip and drag immediately. So then that's what makes it so fun.
There's nothing like a redfish hitting. It feels like a Mack truck just grabbed your line and took off on you.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Even the little ones fight hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I hooked into a 12-inch red a couple of weeks ago, and man, he's only 12 inches, but I kind of just drug him in. But we still redfish. He kind of skidded along the top of the water as I was bringing him in, but I was like, hey, yeah, redfish, yeah, it was great. So, but, okay, so before we kind of jump into some of the funny things that we've seen on the water, because I know you guys have got some stories. But kayak fishing, what is the one thing everybody should know about kayak fishing? Heath, let's start with you.
It is completely different than any other fishing. I grew up fishing. Here in Horry County and in Georgetown County. This is just a completely different style of fishing. It's a lot of getting used to. It's one of the greatest types of fishing I've ever done. Mm-hmm. It's, as Bryan said earlier, the tug is the drug. I mean, this is like the worst addiction I've ever seen in my life of doing this. It is a different animal, but the one thing absolutely about it is, no matter what, I've got to go with the safety aspect of it. You got to have your PFD. You got to wear it every time we go.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Bryan, what drew you to kayak fishing?
You watching you fish here.
Oh, give me a break. No, I'm not gonna. No, you're not getting off that easy or that hard, or I'm not. No.
I'm not gonna make it that easy. But I came down here a lot because my mother-in-law lives here, but I didn't live here, so I started coming here, kind of fishing a little bit, mainly from the beach and that kind of thing. And then I found your channel randomly, and then I was like, man, if I ever get down. I always planned on retiring here and moving here. And I said, if I ever get down there, I'm going to get into that. And sure enough, as life would have it, I did. And I have a center console. I have a 20-foot McKee Craft, really nice center console. It has never seen the water in Merle's Inlet ever. It's never been put in there. It's never been taken out. A lot of times I go to Hartwell in it. My point being is the kayak gets where no one else can get in the inlet. And I just appreciate that so much. I like to get back there by myself where I don't see anybody. And, just out of the way of all the boat traffic and everything. And to me, the kayak does that, it just gets anywhere I want to be. So I just prefer the kayak. There's something about it, you can load that thing up with as much gear as you want and have everything. And some people probably look at me and think it is loaded up and has everything, but you can also cut it back and make it as simple, one rod, and you don't have to take a bunch of crap, all the stuff you see me take out, you can just make it as easy as you want.
That's one of the reasons I got into it. It was just so simple. I started with a $600 paddle kayak with one rod on it and one little off brand name 3700 style plastic box from Walmart that I had laying around my garage. Mm-hmm. And how much easier does this? So, throw it in the back of my truck, back it in. I'm not unloading boats. I don't have to store a trailer. Quiet, like you said, go anywhere in the world back there that no one else can go and see things that people didn't see. And then it's just slowly, I don't know if you call it evolving or going downhill with having to put everything else on it, the bigger kayak. And
yeah. So I think that's kind of what drew me, was going where nobody else can go. A couple of weeks ago when I was out on the water, there was so much boat traffic. Hopefully I caught it with my last video, how many boats were running around me. It was insane that day. And so I shot up into this little bitty creek. The entrance to this little creek was probably only 10 foot wide. and maybe only about 2 feet deep right at the mouth of this creek. Well, I knew nobody was going to follow me up in there unless you were another kayak. And then as soon as I got back in there, it opened up into a little flat area and I fished around. And now I never ended up getting anything, but that was a place where if you don't go up and explore, you never know. There may be a small school that got up in there, but you've got to go check these places out because there was plenty of bait. I followed bait up in there. But yeah, I think that's what really drew me is getting skinny, getting where nobody else can go. You can take as much as you want, or like you said, you can strip it down and one rod, one box, and go to town. So yeah, that's what I love about it. So
Agreed.
okay, what's that?
I said agreed.
Yeah, it really is, and I think most people who kayak fish will probably agree with that. So all right, guys, we are going to kind of jump into it. We only have about a minute or two left in this segment, but I'm going to go ahead and okay. So Bryan, let's jump in with you first. So what is one of the funniest things that you have seen out on the water? You can start the story. You got about 1 minute, but then we can come back to you.
I'll make this make one easy real quick. In Murrells Inlet, I don't know the exact area there, but as you're going out towards the mouth, you've got that sandbar that shows itself, as you're turning the corner to go out to the inlet itself, from the oyster recycling landing. Anyway, in the summer especially, you get people that don't fish here a lot. So when that tide drops, they might be fishing there where that sandbar's at, and get a boat sitting there. And I feel like this summer I've seen quite a few boats at low tide sitting there. I know that's not too funny, but when you fish there all the time, you know it's there. Not everybody else knows it's there. It's my favorite thing in my head, anyways. Sir, you can't park there. You can't park there, sir. I don't know why. It's super funny to me, but I feel bad for the guy because he's going to be there for about another 6 hours, So I'm like, oh yeah, but yeah. Boat sitting there. Usually they trim their engine up or something, so it's not even. I'm not sure about the trimming, but yeah, I always get a giggle out of that for some reason. No one's in danger or anything like that, but it's just like, oh man.
Yeah. I saw that a couple years ago. I actually put one out on Instagram. It was a nice big boat, twin 200s. He was sitting on a sandbar. He was not going anywhere, and he was gunning these things, trying to get off of that sandbar, and he was going nowhere. And I was like, oh, dude, man, well, I'll see you in about 6 hours, just like you said. And so, all right, guys, hold your thoughts. That's the end of the first segment. Guys, don't go anywhere. We are just talking kayak fishing and kayak stories. So, guys, you're listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. Well, welcome back, DCO Nation. You're listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. And, guys, if you are just joining us, I have Heath Watford and Bryan Lingle of Small Craft Angler, and we're just talking kayak fishing and kayak stories this week, and we're kind of getting into some of the funnier things that's happened onto the water, some stuck boats on some sandbars. And so Heath, I'm going to go straight to you now. I know you've got some stories, and I know I've got a couple about you that are probably going to be shared.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you're already looking at me all side-eyed here, but I
would never look at you side-eyed, brother.
So
you've got plenty on me. I've got plenty on myself too. I'm my biggest comic. I bring the chaos. We all know that.
Yeah.
I love to laugh at myself. So I've got so many of them, but I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, the first one I'm going to do, because one of them was with you when I broke the rod with the redfish and handling the redfish in. But I was doing a Heroes on the Water event in Murrells Inlet, and as the training and safety coordinator, I do all the speeches about safety. And if you fall in the water, try to stand up first is one of the things I tell everybody. Well, we launch out, we're almost to Oaks Creek. And, I was having a problem at one point with the seat on my new kayak. Well, all of a sudden the seat drops. I roll right off the boat, right into the middle of the damn water in front of everybody, and everybody's yelling, "Hey, stand up, stand up." And I knew I was only in about 3 foot of water. I mean, it was just funny. My life vest explodes around my neck. I stand up and I'm dragging through the pluff mud over into the, jump back in, deflate my vest, and I have a spare one. I grab it, throw it in there, and away I go and fish the rest of the day.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. The safety guy in the water.
Yeah,
Dead.
it was just kind of funny because there was like 15 people around me when it happened, and nobody's trying to figure out what it is because my kayak's sitting like straight, my chair's sitting like this in the boat.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to share one, and I'm not going to pick on you, Heath, but it is when we were out fishing. This was a couple of years ago, and we came up to a creek mouth, and
I told this story Sunday when we rode by and fished that creek mouth.
So Heath was on one side, I was on the other. I caught a couple of flounder. Heath started going up into a creek, and I caught a couple of flounder, and I said, "Hey man, come back. I think they're out here." So I cross over and I go to the other side of the creek mouth, and he comes over to where I was at, and he starts fishing right there. And I cast out and I feel a thump and I hook into this fish. Now, Heath, why don't you pick it up from there? And because I'm fighting a fish, and then we'll get back to me in a minute.
You're fighting a fish. We were throwing out, and I literally had actually got hung, I think, on a crab trap. And I paddled out to get my rig back, and I was coming back, and I'm watching you, and the current's pushing. It's an incoming tide, and I'm backing up my kayak. It was my little paddle one. And I'm backing up in between two little oyster bars. And this thing's about to drag you across the creek, whatever you're fighting. I'm trying to watch you. I'm backing up, and I'm like, the current pushes me. The keel of my boat catches one of the oyster bars, and all it does is just turn me sideways. I fall out, slam onto the oyster bar, roll off into the water.
So I'm fighting.
My hat breaks open. I lose 2 cell phones, a brand new pair of glasses.
Oh.
So
but Chris catches a 23-inch
I'm looking over at Heath, and I got it all on film, or most of it. And it's a flounder, and I'm fighting this flounder, and he's dragging me across the creek. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, he just went, "Hey, you all right?" And he's in the water, and this flounder dragged me all the way across. He ended up being like a 20-inch flounder. And I ended up, after I got him in the boat, I said, "Okay, I'm going to cut the camera." I'm still talking to the camera. I said, "Okay, I'm going to cut the camera. I got to go find out to see if Heath is all right." And so I come back, and he's standing up, and I'm trying not to laugh because it's just, because when he stood up, he's like up to his knees. It's not like it was like 6 feet deep. It was like 2.5 feet deep. And it was just like, oh man. But,
It all sounds funny when you talk about falling out of the kayak, but when you're talking about Merle's Inlet and the amount of oyster bars there are, and talk about standing up, if you're on the oysters and you stand, you know what I mean, and you don't have, that's why I wear those long boots. I think everybody had, but man, you stand up in the wrong spot there. Ask me how I know. You will, bleed out possibly if you get cut bad enough down there. I mean, it's
I got
bad.
cut up
depending on where you
because
fall.
it was early spring, so I was in shorts, and when I rolled over, I fell right across the oyster bed, and it scratched up my legs again. And our inflatable life vest, it blows up around my neck. All my gear's floating across the inlet.
Yeah, it was one of those. Once we knew you were all right.
Oh, it was funny. I think I was laughing more than anybody.
So, but all right. So, have you guys, Bryan? We'll kick this one off to you. So, have you ever launched without something and came back was like, and you're all the way out there, and you're like, "Oh man, I just forgot my, whatever it was."
Oh yeah, I've launched. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I've launched. I use an inflatable, same as you, probably Heath too. I'm not so sure, but the inflatable. What I want to say,
Like that.
life
Yeah.
jacket, man, big words. Yeah. So I'm taking off, I'm cruising, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I feel very airy and light. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta flip it around and go all the way back. I mean, I've never, it's weird. I've never left it at my house, but I've got on my kayak probably twice or three times and started cruising. Didn't get that far because you figure it out, but had to turn around and can't believe. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. Like, really? This is what I do all day, all the time, and I don't have a
Yeah.
life jacket? The paddle, probably forgotten the paddle,
Yep. Yeah.
before. But speaking of paddle, if anybody finds my paddle I lost last week, Bending Branches Blue, please reach out to me. Rules Inlet, thanks so much. There's another story for you.
Bro's going to eat the paddle.
Hang on. We're not breezing past that one. What happened?
So I coming out of the oyster recycle landing early in the morning, like 6:30. I decide I'm going to go left and go out towards whale tail and all that stuff. And the tide was already moving in, and there's enough water there, but there's a spot right away that's pretty shallow, and I'm like, it's not that big a deal. At worst case scenario, I'll pull my drive and I'll just paddle over it, and I do that quite often. So I hit the bottom pretty quick, and it was like a foot of water. So I pulled the paddle out, started paddling, and on the Old Town EPDLs, they lock in on the side with like a piece of rubber. You kind of like pull it up and over the paddle. It's really hard, to be honest with you. And I think I was like seeing something I'll blow up and trying to fish. And I put the paddle there. I didn't lock it back in. I said, I'll lock it back in a minute when I get done doing what I'm doing, throwing this rod at something. And I never locked it back in. So I went all the way out. I'm fishing, I don't know, 3-4 hours. Actually saw DNR there that day, gave me the old wave. They don't seem to mess with not that I mind. I have but they don't seem to ever really pull kayakers over from what I could see out there. But so I'm thinking, oh, good, that's fine. I got all my stuff. I mean, I always have my stuff, but I'm out there without the paddle. You have to have the paddle. So I'm glad I didn't get pulled over. So I come all the way back in and get in, and I'm putting my stuff up, and I'm looking in the back of my truck. I'm like, where's my paddle at? And I'm like, oh man, I never locked it back in. So I never saw where it went. I'm guessing that I hit a wave or whatever, and it sits in there, but without that rubber piece over the top, it just kind of bounces out. And man, I don't do anything cheap, unfortunately, because Bending Branches paddle isn't too cheap, and I just had to order 2 more because I was short one anyway. But that was kind of painful. And like I said, if anybody sees it, feel free to reach out to me. That's only the latest.
Lord.
That's only the latest stupid thing I've done. Let's be honest. If you want to talk about dropping cameras, I've probably lost 5 or 10 mics since I started this in the water, ruined. Like every time I go out, I lose something, rods, whatever. I don't know. It's what I do. You think that wouldn't happen?
I will never lend you anything, so don't even ask.
Don't. Yeah. Well, the good thing is, if you lend me something and I lose it, I'm buying it for you, because that's how I do with my son. There, ask my son how he knows. He just lost 3 of my rods on a recent trip. So yeah, he's paying me.
You
back.
need to buy some rod tethers, is what you need to buy.
I know. No, that's a whole nother. So he actually flipped the EPDL 132, which I've never seen in my life. But yeah,
oh wow,
he rolled the whole entire thing when we were out. Couldn't believe it.
Colton's the one that could do it. Or me.
He can. I had just told my whole family, like, you can't move these things. You can't roll. In his defense, we were in like some beach waves, and it just kind of rolled him up, and I watched him go. Yeah. Thank goodness we were only in like 3 feet of water. Fine. Like he said, everything goes floating. The rods with the current, I couldn't find them. So yeah, I lost 3 expensive rods, 3 expensive reels. Good times.
Yeah. All right, Heath, your turn. Yeah, your turn. What have you forgotten and launched without?
Actually, the biggest thing is my paddle. I don't know, 6 months ago, I guess, I was working on the boats in the garage, getting ready and swapping paddles and stuff and doing some things. I had done some stuff to my wife's boat, doing a couple of things, and I'm just if everything needs to be in its place so I can go get it. Bryan, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, everything's regimented in its place every time.
Every day.
And you don't think about it. You get in that routine and leave.
Yep.
Well, I had popped my paddle out of the holder, doing some stuff with it, and I laid it on Amy's boat, sitting in the garage on her big K2 and doing stuff. I jump out the next morning, throw the boat in the truck, all my stuff, take off, get to the landing, go off,
No paddle.
I can't push off. There's no paddle. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
And of course, there is a DNR agent sitting at the landing that morning.
Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be?
When they pop up.
You know, I didn't even have my push pole, my stakeout pole with me or anything or whatever. So, yeah, load it back up, drive back to the house, get the paddle, go back.
Yeah. Well, you talk about, DNR never really stops kayakers. Years and years ago, I was in Merle's Inlet when I still had my canoe, and I was just fishing. I actually launched out of Morris Landing, and I didn't go very far because, I wanted to fish the flats right there. Well, DNR came up to me, and they were like, "Do you have your life vest?" And I went, no, I don't. I know exactly where it is because yesterday I cleaned and hosed everything off. It's sitting right next to the concrete piling right there at my house. I know exactly. Nope, I don't have it. And I got a ticket for it. Yep.
Wow.
So, yeah. And yeah.
Did you tell them you were Chris Little?
Yeah, I know.
I'm kidding. Oh, I'm kidding.
No,
Well, I got a funny one. I got a funny one too that you forgot one time, Chris.
What was that?
You forgot to take your keys out of your truck at Wando one morning.
Okay, well, guys, we are going to end this episode. Hang on, we're gonna. All right. So, guys, unfortunately, we are at the end of this show. It went super quick. But the one thing we're gonna do is this is going to be a 2-part show. So this is going to be part 1. Stick around till next week, and you guys are going to catch part 2. We're just going to continue this right on and keep going with the stories. So. Heath, Bryan, I appreciate you guys coming on this week, and everybody else, remember, conservation starts with you. Release a fish for someone else to enjoy. And you've been listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network.